And again, make sure you guys all have your cameras on. I think only a couple of you do not. So yeah, welcome. I hereby call this meeting to order at 5:31 p.m. So Senator Chang, if you want to do roll call, please.
President Moore,
Here.
Chief Wortman,
He's here, but he didn't inform me his class is running over, so he might not be able to speak for a few minutes. So you just so you're aware.
Director Lauer,
Present.
Director Trubach, Director Watkins, Director Dingy,
Present.
Director Taylor,
Present.
Director Rodriguez,
Present.
Director Netsui,
Present.
Director Aguinaga,
Present.
Senator Dalzell,
Present.
Senator John,
Present.
Senator Chang, present, Senator Riley,
Present.
Senator Farland,
Present.
Senator Allen,
Present.
Senator Paris,
Present.
Senator Esperson,
Present.
Senator Klein,
Present.
Senator Evans,
Present.
Senator Campisi,
Present.
Senator Gomez,
Present.
Senator Lauderdale,
Present.
Senator Palucci,
Present.
Senator Suresh, Senator Jackson,
Present.
Intern Alvarino,
Present.
and Advisor Factor Page.
Present.
Thank you, Senator Chang. So moving on to the adoption of the agenda. Does anyone have objections to the agenda as presented via Slack? Seeing none, the agenda is adopted by unanimous consent. Moving on to public contributions. Do we have any public contributions today? I don't see on the agenda, but just in case anyone else has any who's in the meeting. Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to reporting of absences. So Senator Suresh was absent at the last public meeting, but I excused him because he was attending a very important meeting of OGE. There's been a lot going on for national students, so I feel like this excuse is valid. Does anyone have any objections to this, excusing this absence? Okay, hearing none, Senator Suresh is excused from his absence at the last public meeting. Moving on to the reading and approval of the minutes. Does anyone have any objections to the minutes from October 14th as presented in Slack? Okay, seeing none, the minutes are adopted by unanimous consent. Senator Chang, can we please move on to reports?
President Moore,
Okay, hi everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I've been quite busy working on a lot of various projects. I've been working with Senator Suresh to work on concern with the international students. Like I said, there's been a lot going on. So we've been working with OGE to kind of address some of these things. Shout out to intern Alvarino for helping me so much on these. She did a great job helping me do some research and address some issues with our international student population. So definitely great work. I also worked with advisor Megan Factor Page to establish the election commission. I'll do a first reading of that tonight. I attended a community meeting for Director Trubach. We just talked about preparing for Halloween in the community, which was really informative. I have a whole letter going out to student body on Friday about COVID concerns and promoting the Mask Up initiative that Director Dingy is leading. Senator John invited me to attend an event with the College of the Arts this week, which was really great. Thank you so much for the invitation. It was nice to be able to connect to one of our colleges. And finally, I worked with Chief Wortman on the ROC policy in a meeting this week, which was very interesting as well. And this week, I do also have a meeting with Joe Jenkins, which is tomorrow, to address some concerns that Senator Gomez brought up to me last week. So we're still working on that. And then I also have a meeting with Dean Pringle about some course surveys that have been going out to students next week. But other than that, I'll just be working on some other issues that are brought to my attention. If you guys have any huge pressing matters, just bring them up to me, and I can make sure to work on them in the appropriate way. And I'll also be working on planning for the election next spring. So thank you.
Thank you, President Moore. Chief Wortman?
And Chief Wortman, I think he wants to go at the end. Like I said, his class is going over today, and I don't think he's able to talk. So if we can get back to him at the end, that would be great. Thank you.
Director Lauer?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. It's good to see your faces. So this past week, there was a lot of work done. First of all, we prepared and executed Kent State Vote's second outreach day. So it was pretty successful. We had more volunteers than last time. A lot of people did texts on their own, and I'll have the receipt data from that soon. But I already know that hundreds of students, we reached out to hundreds of students by text, thousands by email, some of them multiple times. And hopefully this is the second time that many students have been reached out to. We also prepared to participate in a podcast with Dean Talia Drummer Farrell. That went super well. It's actually going to be posted, I think, today or tomorrow. So they had a really quick turnaround time on that. Yeah, it's going to be great. And then we also are doing a teach-in for Kent State Votes this Friday. So feel free to drop in. The registration should be up soon. I think Sierra is doing a teach-in as well, or President Moore is doing a teach-in as well. So that should be an awesome representation for USG. I also conducted a Committee on Governmental Affairs meeting where we discussed some things involving Turbo Vote and the teach-in, as well as passing out t-shirts. We're still working on that. There's some complications with the logistics, but nothing huge. And then I also met with some students interested in joining that committee. So it was really successful.
Thank you, Director Lauer. Director Trubach? Director Watkins?
Hey everyone, happy to see everyone. In the last week, I spoke with Advisor Factor Page and our middle agent about some programming updates, and I have received some promotional materials for our first virtual event, and there will be more on the way from Signal Design. I'm still waiting on some additional details from our advisor, Ms. Factor Page, for our first event. And I will be working on some promotional materials for our second virtual event in the near future. And we're still waiting on confirmation for a few things for our last virtual event of the semester. We might have to move on to a new idea, but we have multiple things in the works. And I've also worked on a form and relayed details to Director Rodriguez for a showing of the movie 13th that we will be doing very soon.
Thank you. Director Dingy?
Hey everyone. So the past couple weeks have mainly been focused on finalizing everything for the Mask Up initiative, which we'll be talking about later. Director Rodriguez and I have been working really hard on marketing efforts, and we're excited to see everything come to life. I've been discussing collaborating with Community Engaged Learning to sponsor a canned food drive during Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week, which is taking place November 9th through the 14th. There should be some more details to come on that soon. I've been meeting with President Moore, Advisor Factor Page, and Student Success Programs pretty frequently to collaborate on a lesson plan for the PLA students, which should be helpful in spreading the word of USG to some younger students. I've also begun communicating with a transportation services company that President Moore put me in contact with to explore possible needs on our campus. If anyone would be interested in helping me with that project, please feel free to reach out. I do feel that I'll need some more perspective on that. And lastly, as Director Aguinaga and I presented last week, we've decided to reenact the ambassadorship program. Please don't forget to make your contact and identify your ambassadorships by the 28th. Reach out to either of us if you have questions, and have a great week.
Thank you. Director Taylor?
Hello, everyone. So last week, we had our first judicial advocate training for people who are outside of USG, and I was told that that was a success. I also met with Chanel, who is she's the chair of the Committee on Health and the previous person that held my position, to talk more about judicial advocates and how judicial advocates can be further trained on how to be well-rounded in the position, rather than just being educated on the process. We're trying to help them show what it's like to actually be a judicial advocate. Let me see. And another discussion that we had was how students were receiving food on campus when they've been quarantined. I heard a couple of issues about that here recently, and I'm going to be looking into it more. I'll also be continuing to recruit judicial advocates. There'll be additional trainings in the future. And I also volunteered to help Senator Riley with the period product committee video that was mentioned in Slack a couple weeks ago. And I already mentioned how I'm going to look into how students receive their food for quarantine on campus. Go Flashes.
Thank you. Director Rodriguez.
Hi, everyone. So this week I worked on the website for the Mask Up KSU page and made graphics for it. I was in constant communication with the videographer for this initiative, Ramon, about the promotional video. And I also had a meeting with the Governmental Affairs Committee with Director Lauer. I worked with Senator Jackson on celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month virtually, as well as promoting her event. And then I will be emailing those who have not had their headshot photos on our website so we can schedule a day to take them. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy, and please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Nepsui, no report. Director Aguinaga.
All right, so over the past week, I did some final interviews to fill some recent vacancies on my committee. It's tough to pick among such good candidates. However, I was able to narrow my decision down to the two choices. They are trained and will be at the next hearing tomorrow. In addition to that, my committee will also be playing a part in the ambassadorship role. A lot of people have picked their organizations so far. However, there's still about a third of you that haven't selected those organizations. So try to get that done as soon as possible, because that deadline will be coming up where you have to reach out to those organizations, and we don't want to run into a problem where you have multiple people reaching out to the same organization. So reach out to those. If you have any questions, as Kaylee said, reach out to either Kaylee or I. And then I look forward to seeing more posts on our social media after a meeting I had with Director Rodriguez to try to increase our marketing presence for allocations. Thank you.
Senator Dalzell.
Hey everyone, to start off with my college, I've been working with just hearing from students and understanding their perspective and any good things or issues that arise as the semester has gone along. Besides that, I've been working with the Committee on Health. The first podcast went out last week, which was exciting. And I know I was a part of the second one, and I look forward to editing that this coming week as well. In addition, I was the meeting that happened a while ago with Julie Volchek, who oversees Dewey's Health Center. We kind of collaborated to talk about sending out a student-led email. So I'm excited that on Friday that will go out, and I was glad to have helped out with that. In addition, let's see, I just addressing any concerns that I see about COVID and having that open line of communication with Julie. So that's what I've been up to, and I look forward to another productive week. Thanks.
Thank you. Senator John, no report. Senator Chang. Hello, everyone. I hope midterms week went well for you all. The previous week, I had my first Committee on Health marketing team meeting, which included Senator Esperson, to discuss the division of labor. I organized and created a poster for the first giveaway for the mental health podcast with former Director Walagura. I had a meeting with the Committee on Health to discuss mental health and public health concerns among students quarantined on campus and what possible health initiatives we could provide, such as care packages. I had a brief meeting with my senatorial committee, and I had an email relayed out to the Living Learning Center to provide to bring more freshmen into my committee. I recently reached out to the Office of Global Education to refine their resources for the Step Up Speak Out webpage for Senator Jackson's diversity subcommittee. And I recently had my poll worker recruitment email relayed out to the entire university at Akron. Thank you. Senator Riley.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is hanging in there. I know it's been a tough week for a lot of people. So this last week, I met with the director of technology offices to talk about creating the Period Project app, and that was very enlightening, and it gave me a lot of new ideas, which is super exciting. I've also met with the College of Business Administration's assistant dean, Dean Liz, and we are working on informing College of Business students about the pass-fail requirements and possibly uploading that to Flashline. I met with a videographer, Ramon, to talk about creating a Period Project video, which I'm very excited for. As Director Taylor mentioned, if anyone is interested in being featured in the video or being a part of making it, please let me know. It's a really great opportunity and it's super exciting. I'm also creating a College of Business Administration student organization video as well, and I've been working with Dean Liz on that. I've been attending the Business Professionals Roundtable video weekly or bi-weekly meetings, and have been informing them about USG's updates. I also will be attending the meeting on Friday to talk about where our college's dean will be, so that I can hear the students' concerns as they are addressed to her. I've been attending FYE classes to talk about USG, my position with USG, and how freshmen can be involved. And I've also been reaching out to different organizations about becoming an ambassador. And on Wednesday, we had our Period Project meeting with Claire, and that was super helpful so that students were able to see or receive more information about the Period Project in total. I hope everyone has a good week.
Thank you. Senator Farland.
Hi, everyone. So this past week, I met with Academic Program Director Kathy Zingrone to start the CCI mentoring program. I'm meeting with her on Friday, and I'm preparing an executive summary and a mentor application for her, and then we're trying to get that started. And then I met with my committee last night to get their feedback on that project and just some other things. And then I also have an email drafted to Director Paul Hardakis, I don't know how to say his last name, to talk about PRSSA to COM students. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Allen, no report. Senator Paris, no report. Senator Esperson.
Hi everyone. Last week I finished the video that I was making for the FYE classes and I sent it out to the FYE leaders. Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. I sent it out to the FYE leaders to share with their students. I also started working on brainstorming ideas for the virtual hangouts I'd like to hold soon for nursing students. I'm putting together an outline for that, and I hope to share it with the advisor for the College of Nursing that I'm working with to set that up. I also started working on the ambassadorship project. So far, I've reached out to 4 organizations. I've only heard back from 1 so far, so I hope to hear back from the rest soon. I met with the Committee on Health podcast marketing team with Senator Chang to discuss the division of labor. And lastly, I met with the Committee on Health to talk about some upcoming projects and initiatives that we're doing. And thank you guys.
Senator Klein.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Just as of today, I had back from my 3rd organization to be the ambassador. So going to get that in soon, 3 in my college. And also the Aeronautics Living Learning Community is just coming off of a 2-week quarantine. We now have about 1/3 of our instructors at the airport under quarantine. The students are doing a pretty good job reporting. We are having a lot of students that are developing symptoms. There's students that are struggling to find other instructors while their instructors are quarantined for 2 weeks. So I've been meeting with our senatorial committee about that. But students are doing a pretty good job reporting. We are having a pretty big outbreak though right now. So kind of just dealing with that. So everyone just remember to stay safe.
Thank you. Senator Evans.
Hi, everyone. So an update about last week. So I've been working with the College of Public Health on a breast cancer awareness event, partnered with the Gamma Epsilon chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. The event will be October 27th. However, on October 26th, we will have a scheduled goodie bag giveaway that is sponsored by the College of Public Health. So the flyer will be out tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. Again, working with the Committee on Health with the On My Mind podcast. So we have a COVID episode that is coming, and we have a special guest, which is Senator Dalzell. So stay tuned for that. And I've been working on legislation. Yeah, every week I get homework on legislation. So that will be soon, very soon for you guys to see that. A part of the legislation is a Flashes Take Care of Flashes mural at the Student Center, plots for Black and cultural-based Greek organizations, and a memorial and an independent workspace for Black United students. So a lot of big things are coming. So yeah, thank you. Stay tuned and go Flashes.
Thank you. Senator Campisi.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Since our last meeting this week, I met with advisor Megan Factor-Page about ideas for projects to do with the commuter and off-campus student organization COSO. I have a meeting with their executive board tomorrow to discuss how we're going to plan for Commuter Appreciation Week in the housing fair, so I'm excited to do this. I also had another meeting with the Office of the Provost about our committee search. Final interviews for the top 3 candidates will be next week, so keep an eye out in your email about the announcement of the appointed candidate. I've also contacted my 3 student organizations for the ambassadorship, so I'm looking forward to working with these organizations, but that's pretty much it this week. Hope you guys had a good week and a great weekend.
Thank you. Senator Gomez.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I met with different groups of on-campus students, including most of the REC presidents, and I updated everyone on what I'm working on. I also heard many students concerned about how they're being notified about which dorms are being quarantined, so I've been working mostly on that. I've also attended the Committee on Health, and I've attended the open forum that KIC had, where I further learned more concerns that the students had, specifically with public health and quarantine response. So I'll keep advocating for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Lauderdale.
Hi, everyone. It's good to see everyone again. I hope everyone's doing well. For my updates, I met with the University College Director, Nicole Cotlin, to go over our final planning to create an Instagram account for my position as Senator for University College. For my social media takeover as well, and reaching out to some departments right now to finally get that rolling. Chaslin and I will be partaking in a Green Dot presentation and proposal to the university that Dean Pringle's actually arranging, and it's going to be held the week after Thanksgiving. So definitely be on the lookout for that, because that's going to be really exciting. And then my main projects right now are just coming up with ideas for social media engagements, allowing exploratory students to kind of see like the purpose of why we have the resources that we do. And then I'm working on some giveaways for students as well to get more students involved. And then I also met with Dean Pringle recently, and I'm going to continue to meet with her and Nicole Cotlin. And then we also decided that we're going to keep the graduation chords as a new tradition for the pre-exploratory graduates. So that's also exciting. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a good week.
Palucci.
Hi, everyone. This week, I received some updates on the recycling project I did at the rec center. All of the trash cans are now going to be paired with updated recycling bins and signage, and they'll be placed with, the signage will be placed with all of the recycling cans. I also continued my work on the Airmark project. I am organizing meetings with many different faculty and administrators in order to discuss topics like the wages and benefits in the dining halls, as well as aspects of sustainability. Right now, I'm working on getting a survey to Airmark employees on campus, but whether or not that will work out is still kind of up in the air. Gary Goldberg offered to discuss a previous survey with me and a few others, and hopefully that will have the answers to some of our questions. That's all I have for this week. Also, I know classes are starting to get a little overwhelming, but stick with it. Remember to take time for yourself. We're over halfway through. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Senator Suresh.
Hello, everyone. I hope all of you had a great weekend and everybody staying safe. Over the last week, I had about 4 meetings with the Office of Global Education just for the duration of stay status that's been pushed to change by ICE and the government. We had another meeting with ISIC, planning for food insecurities or students feeling down with their mental health. So there's a plan pushing forward for mental health purposes, and the Office of Global Education also had a food run, which was organized by themselves, and over 350 students had applied for it. About 225 students have already picked up their food packages. If you guys know anybody else who has food insecurities living off campus, they're still welcome to go to Terrace Hall and pick up care packages for themselves. All they have to do is sign up. And I was in a meeting with President Moore talking about the duration of stay status, which is still up in the air because it's going to take place another 25 days. The universities of Ohio are still advocating for it. We are still looking for a few other students to share their stories, but that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Jackson.
Hey y'all. Yeah, we're doing amazing. We're just doing such a good job. It's making me smile. They're on it. I'm so proud of us. But anyways, for me personally, I had a successful Follow the Rainbow event last week. Shout out to my great diversity committee. Some members are here today. So it was really fun. I'm really proud of myself. We wrapped up Hispanic Heritage Month with the recognition of Hispanic Latinx USG reps on our Instagram page. So if you saw that, you saw how beautiful our representatives were. I met with my committee. We are brainstorming programming for Disability Awareness Month. If y'all don't know, it's Disability Awareness Month as well in October. I started our subcommittees who are currently working on assignments for short-term and long-term initiative and projects, which is including Green Dots, including Step Up, Speak Out. We're talking to athletes. Like we're tackling a lot right now, but my committee, we can handle it. They're doing a great job. They've surprised me so far. Also with the student code of conduct, so the changes were approved by Dr. Hilton. So those are in the works of being updated on the website or on the conduct in general. So I kind of copy and pasted this for my own report from my committee, but if y'all would like to see the changes that were submitted, I can go ahead and post that in Slack. I'll do that after this meeting. I will say though, we came with a lot of suggestions for changes. They weren't all, approved, which is fine because the student code of conduct can always be updated. So I say that for all us to know, if we ever feel that there needs to be further updates, do not stay quiet, do not stay silent, continue to pressure and put that pressure on the admin to continue to update this code of conduct. I also sat in our interviews for the Student Multicultural Center program coordinator that is currently being searched for. Today was our last day in sitting on those interviews for the potential candidates. And I've also been selected to be the co-chair of the Academic Curriculum Subcommittee for our Anti-Racism Task Force with actually my professor, Linda Piccirillo-Smith. So we had another meeting yesterday and we have our first subcommittee meeting next week. Thank you.
Intern Alvarino.
Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to participate in my first public meeting. This past week, I helped President Tierra out with the proposal to end duration of stay and help compose a couple emails on it to Government Relations and Faculty Senate. I'm really excited for other projects she has upcoming for me. And yeah, hope everyone's safe.
Thank you, Chief Wortman.
Hi, everyone. I apologize for my delay earlier today. I was in class that went really, really late, almost an hour later than it normally does, but I am here and I am listening. Reports, I just wanted to remind you guys that those do need to be submitted by midnight on Sundays to be included in the agenda. Every member is to turn in a report and a task log. I know this is sometimes something that we get confused about. Tierra did make it so that every single week you are turning in a task log along with your report. So just make sure that you're doing that. Like I said during training, I just recommend making a template and copying and pasting each week so that way you don't forget either or. But just make sure you have both of those being turned in every week before midnight. You guys know the rules. We talked about those in the past few weeks as of no reports. I will be reaching out if a no report trend is a problem, but right now we seem to be good with everyone. Please be sure to pick up your name tags and placards from the office. So the new placards are in the office waiting for those who don't have them yet. And then the name tags, I believe, are on the way unless they came in the last like 2 days or so. If you're calling off for office hours, be sure to use the form that is in Slack. It's really important that we know when people are missing so that way we can make sure that we keep the office open and staffed. I'm also working with Tiara and the intern on the communication that's going out to the university regarding COVID. And one of my bigger projects right now is that I'm currently working on drafting ROC policy with various administrations. So we've been meeting weekly to discuss what policy we can change and what policy we can write to make the ROC as effective and beneficial as possible. Also, just wanted to talk about COVID real quick. If you're feeling sick, just do not come into the office for the sake of the other members. Just let me know. Use the call off form. It's no biggie if you have to miss due to being symptomatic at all. But we also are asking that a lot of you have a COVID test done if you do feel sick. That just helps us make sure that we can keep the government sustained and running for as long as possible. You don't have to share your results with President Moore and myself, but we just request that you do if you feel comfortable doing so. Like I said, that just allows us to keep the government ran and the office open and all of that. I hope I didn't talk too much, but it is good to hear about all the work that you guys are doing. Usually I'd like to tell you guys, if you have any questions, just reach out to me. But if I have a problem, I will reach out to you. Right now, I'm not having a lot of problems with you all, so I am very, very happy with the work that you're doing. Thank you and have a great week.
Thank you. And Advisor Factor Page.
Hi, everyone. I won't take up a lot of your time, but I just want to say that I'm really proud of all the work that you're doing. You have been like all over Kent State University doing like the most amazing things. I have been pretty busy, as you heard my name mentioned in several people's reports. I'm happy to help you out. Just want to keep putting that out there. I have a Calendly link that you can use. I helped Tiara today come up with some things for the election commission, which I know it's October and it feels like, oh my gosh, are we seriously talking about next year already? But I think I want to help keep this momentum of the student government going. And in order to do that, you have to really have a really great transition to the new group, and they need to be aware of the expectations. They need to have some historical knowledge of what you guys have been doing. So you're energetic now, and I want to really ride that momentum. So I was happy to chat with Tiara about that, and she'll explain kind of what we talked about. There's an event on Friday. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it. There's several of you that are presenting, Brandon, Ethan, Tiara, forgive me if I missed anybody. Claire Wahey is presenting on Friday. The event's Teach-In, and it's sponsored by the School of Communication Studies, Student Affairs, the Provost's Office, University Conferences and Events, and it's called Don't Hate Debate. And it's an all-day event starting at 10 a.m. It goes till 6. There's 2 tracks, lots of things going on that you could listen to. So I really encourage you to register. I'll make sure that somebody puts the link to register in the Slack. And that's all I got. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Megan. Great reports. You guys are all doing great. I'm so proud, honestly. So moving on to unfinished business, and seeing none, we can move on to general orders for today.
Motion to vote on the mask up legislation.
Do I hear a second on that motion?
I second.
Okay.
Can I say something before?
Yeah, say like any debate. Yeah, we have debate. So
Okay.
Rodriguez, if you want to get started with the debate, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to formally apologize for posting the mask up video a little earlier than expected. I was very excited about about the initiative. And I just really think that it's going to bring a lot of good to this university during these really dark times. It wasn't intentional it was very much a mistake and a miscommunication on my part. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah,
Thank you, Director
essentially,
Rodriguez.
we just wanted to
Director
clear up.
Dingy, you can go.
We just
Sorry.
wanted to clear up that the intention behind posting it was completely a miscommunication. And it's just a video, so it can be deleted if you guys chose to vote no. But once it was already posted and like admin was reposting it, we were like, let's not stop the momentum in case it does happen to vote yes. So that is why it's still up. But yeah, and we're both really excited about this. And I feel free to shoot any questions if you do have any last minute questions at me. Pretty much every detail is figured out at this point. But yeah.
President Moore.
Yes, Dr. Lauer.
I just want to voice my support for the initiative. Having read through the legislation and then the incentive programs, I think that it's extremely relevant. So that's the first big pro for me. And I also think it's really well thought out and it has a lot of broad-based support. I really like that there are other student leaders outside of USG deeply involved in the planning. So I just want to voice my support there.
Thank you, Director. Do we have any other debate? Anyone else have comments or anything they have about this initiative? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move out of debate and into voting. So if you would like to vote yes on the mask up legislation presented by Director Dingy, please raise your placard at this time and leave them up there. And if you don't have a video, can you on, because I did let some people have a video off for today for personal reasons. So can you please message Megan Factor Page privately? That way we can get your vote counted. Thank you.
And just by the way, the chat's disabled, so
Oh, I forgot that was disabled.
Yeah, you may be able to raise your hand or react, but just hold
yeah,
your...
can we use a react function if you can, please? Sorry, I forgot it was disabled for today.
That's okay.
Yeah, leave them up, please, if you can. Sorry. You know, you guys' arms get tired.
Got it.
Okay. And if you'd like to vote no on the Mask Up initiative, please raise your placard at this time.
Okay.
Okay. And any abstentions?
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like the motion passes. So congratulations, Director Dingy and everyone else that worked on this initiative. I'm really excited to see it go out. Like I said, I got approval for a notification to go out to the whole student body talking about COVID and this initiative. So I'm really excited to see how big this turned, especially for all the other student leaders. So congratulations to everyone that was involved. And now moving on to other general orders for today.
I would like to motion to vote on replacing 2 allocation members that had to resign.
Okay, do I hear a second on that motion?
A second.
Okay, and any debate about this? I know Director Naga, if you want to talk a little bit about what happened.
Sure, yeah, so we had 2 members that had time conflicts for the allocations committee. So over the past week, I did interviews with a number of different people, some of them being interested in the intern position. And so over the course of this past week, I made the decision to select Kia Render and Vivian Hawk to be the replacements for this semester for the allocations committee. So these 2 members don't have a guaranteed position for next semester. However, they will be filling in for this semester unless the people they're replacing decide not to come back this following spring.
Okay, thank you, Director. Do we have any more debate about this matter? Okay, seeing none, I think. Yes, Senator Jackson.
For Director. So is there a specific rule or reason why if they fill in this semester, they're not able to continue like next semester and like the original people are allowed to have that position back?
So I'm trying to be fair to the people that I asked to resign for this semester, since they previously applied and there was miscommunication based on the scheduling. Just because schedules were already made and we created the allocations time after schedules were already made, it made it difficult for everybody to be able to pick the same exact time. So I'm still trying to keep it fair in order to allow those people that were originally supposed to be in the spot to have a chance to continue to be involved this following semester.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do I hear any other, Dr. Dingy?
I was just gonna ask, are they aware that this is only like a this semester thing?
Yeah, so I made them aware that it was going to be this semester. I even told them that in the case that the 2 members that they are filling in the position for decide not to return this following semester, that they do have a chance to be on allocations for the spring as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Director. Do we have any other points of debate for this? Okay, seeing none, I think we can move on to voting. So if you'd like to vote yes on appointing Kaya Render and Vivian Hawk to the Allocations Committee, please raise your placards at this time. And like I said previously, if you could please use the hand raise function if your video was given permission to be off for this meeting, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Good.
Okay, thank you. And if you would like to vote no on appointing these 2 nominees to the Allocations Committee, please raise your placard at this time.
Good.
Okay, and any abstentions?
Good.
Okay, thank you. So it looks like the motion passes. Congratulations to our 2 new members of the Allocations Committee. And finally, the last matter I have in our general orders is me. So I will be doing a first reading of the election bill. I do apologize, it was put into Slack a little bit later today. As Advisor Megan Factor Page said, we were working on it and we realized it was taking a little bit longer to kind of get everything settled than we anticipated, but we think we have it pretty well together. Basically, we are going to be running a totally virtual election this year, which means we have to do a lot of changes in kind of how we do things. And the commissioner will be taking over this eventually and implementing some of these changes. But just as president, since I have to establish the commission, I've already gone ahead and made a few changes on this document indicating how we're going to run our election this year. So some of the biggest changes is the signature request. I know I already got a couple questions about that. So basically we're doing that virtually. Megan and I are still looking into ways to kind of how we can have that function. That way we can verify that there can't say emails and all that, because we don't want any person-to-person contact. Oh, my AirPod fell out. That's weird. Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to do that virtually. And we're still working on that. Like I said, it might take us some time to figure out a system. And then, we do realize we are in a pandemic and it might be hard to engage with students. So the amount of petitions that are needed, we are going to look into that and take that into consideration. But we do have to abide by our bylaws and charter, and we're going to help the candidates as much as possible to kind of get that student engagement that they need. So yeah, we are aware of those issues. Other than that, we switched some things on the schedule. So if you would like to look at the election schedule document, as you can see, we have everything kind of outlined for how it's going to go. We basically want to have everything set for the commission by the end of the semester. So that means we're going to have the marketing, the calendar, and everything done. We're going to be working with Signum on that, just so Director Rodriguez doesn't have to stress, because I just know this is going to be a lot of marketing virtually. And so, yeah, we don't want to put all that on you. And the other changes, I'm trying to think. So the signatures are due. The one thing that we did change, I guess, a lot is how someone will contest something. So you'll read through and you'll see a procedural contesting of the results. And that means that if there is something wrong with the numbers, so say, for example, this happened our last election, the wrong name was highlighted. So that result was invalid. That was a procedural error that got contested. So if when we're talking about that, that's something different than say like I have an issue with somebody like soliciting for votes in a way that's not against the protocol. That's like a different process that we're going to be outlining with the election commission differently. Many of you guys know we had a lot of issues of our last election on that type of stuff. And I just want to make sure that this process is fair and we don't have to have things that happened last year happen again this year. So we're working on making that distinction as well, because that wasn't really clear before. So the procedural means something with the counting. And we did change the timeline on that a little bit. So you'll see there's a little bit longer of a gap between when the voting closes and when the announcement is. So typically we would release the names of the candidates directly after election, but instead we're giving Megan and other people who are counting the votes an extra hour to kind of go through and make sure everything's set. That way we have a time. And also this year, similar to kind of how we've done in the past, we're going to be doing kind of a live stream reveal party event on probably Zoom. We'll see how that works. But traditionally in our elections, we would all gather around the office and watch the PowerPoint and everything announcing who won. This past race, we weren't able to do that just because COVID shut down our campus the first day of our voting. So we kind of really didn't have time to like work through that process, but I really want to bring that tradition back. So we're going to be announcing it live with everyone in some virtual manner, which I think will be really great. And then as you can see, like we did do a couple more announcements or changes later on when we get to April and March. So one thing that's going to be different is the transition period for all of us is going to be our last group meeting. And during that, we're going to do a little bit of training with the new board, and then everyone is going to break out in the groups and meet with the newly elected people. And that's before we do the passing of the gavel, which we realize they won't be official yet, but I just think it would be the best thing for us as a board to do some training, because after that is spring break. And I don't want you guys to have to meet with the new board after spring break, after we pass the gavel, like after you're out of office, because that just seems to be a little bit like asking a lot of all of you. So we're going to be doing that like during our actual meeting time. That way you guys don't have to go out of the way to do transitions. It's kind of already built into our calendar. So just be aware of that requirement. You guys are going to meet it by attending that meeting. So make sure that like you're there for that. And that's kind of like your last obligation you have as elected members of this body. I just talked a lot. And I definitely want to urge you guys, I did give you all commenter status on these documents. So if you see something that's weird, so also my internet said unstable. So sorry if like I sound like a robot, I don't know. But if you see something weird, just comment on it, point it out, let us know. I know there's probably a lot of issues, but does anyone have any points of information for this bill as presented right now? Again, I know this is a lot, but we're trying to work through it. And I don't know, Megan, if you want to add anything.
I don't think so. I think just take a look at your own calendar, check me and Tiara's work. We're not perfect, so I don't know if all of those dates are like perfect either. So take a look at the university calendar. That's what we were working off of. It'll be helpful to have multiple eyes on it. But we were pretty satisfied with the result. We do have some things to work through. Obviously, once the election commission is chosen, they'll have a lot of leeway to work through that.
Yeah, and if you guys have questions about any particular changes I've made, I just wanted to also note that we did change the times of voting. So typically we start at 7 a.m. But Megan and I, after talking about that, decided we're going to start at 8 a.m. instead, just because first off, no one wants to be approached by a member of student government campaigning at 7 a.m. Like I'll tell you, when I campaigned at 7 a.m. on campus, it wasn't even worth it really. And also, Megan has to get up really early to check the system, make sure it's working. Like, it just really was not a good idea. So we decided to move it to 8 a.m., which is more realistic time. So everyone will want to hear from you all or whoever's running. You're not bothering them at like 7 a.m. in the morning. So that was like another change. Like I said, there's like little things in there. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you have concerns, reach out to me. We were pretty intentional in making these decisions on changing the election bill a little bit this year. And like I said, since it is a virtual election, it is going to be a lot different. And I also do want to be transparent, let you know that right now, Director Lauer is going to be my nomination for commissioner. But if you are interested in that, you can still come talk to me about it. He would already talk to me about it, and I feel like he would be a great person for me to nominate to be our commissioner this year. We do need people to be on the commission. So also, if you're interested in being on the commission, you can still reach out to me. But I do want to give a week. We won't be voting on the commissioner until the next public meeting. So I just want to let you guys know that he was a person that I have in mind for my nomination. But like I said, like if you are interested, you can still come to me. We can talk and see, because maybe my mind will change. So definitely come to me if you have any questions about anything with the election. But does anyone have any questions right now? No? Okay, great. So thank you. Please look at it, make sure our dates are wrong. Me and Megan aren't perfect, like she said, and we want to make sure you catch anything before we release it out to everyone. So thank you for that. And that's all we have for general orders today. So moving on to new business, and seeing none, we can move on for the good of the order. So if anyone has anything. Nothing for the good of the order today?
Hello, friends. This is Dr. D. How are you?
Hi, Dr.
Dr. D.
Hello. So is it okay if I give a couple of updates from my end and then also see if there's any general questions?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. So one, I do want, I know there's been a lot of conversations, and I think it's helpful context as people are trying to continue to enhance the experience for our students in quarantine and isolation. We did have a special strategy meeting that was conducted yesterday. A lot of fantastic feedback from that. I think one, we had some really good communication strings. And then two, I think we also were able to find some gaps and some opportunities. So I know there's plans for folks to do some outreach. I'm happy to be the liaison, as I was the convener for that group. However, we also have some great colleagues in dining. We also have a new person who's managing our COVID response team. So there's literally, I want to say about 5 departments that filter into quarantine and isolation. And so I've kind of just volunteered myself to be the person to kind of support and coordinate and point folks in the right direction. So I'm just happy to offer myself up for that. We have a care package plan that we're putting in place very soon. And right now we have about 7 entities that are filtering into either care package or support to students in quarantine and isolation as well. So I just want to make sure that everyone know about that. And then to Chaslin's point, I am appreciative of her and her work, as well as many others who contributed to our student code of conduct review. My message is to reiterate, where our hands are tied in one place, we can untie them in others. So again, I'm always open to have those conversations. If it doesn't fit in one particular area, we certainly want to make sure that students are feeling supported in other ways and making sure we do it appropriately so we don't silence other voices in the midst of it. I'm also open to any questions if anybody has anything for me, but I think those were the 2 big bucket things. If there's any kind of planning or feedback about Halloween virtual events that you're doing, keep me in the loop on that. I'm happy to kind of filter information from a variety of departments to make sure that we're staying safe. And I am thrilled to be a judge for the Mask Up initiative and happy to hear that it passed. So unless there's any questions for me, that's it from my end.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Drummer. And Dr. Hilton, do you have anything for the good of the order? I heard through the grapevine you might.
You might have heard correctly. Good afternoon, good evening. So COVID-19, social and racial unrest, mental health and well-being, Let's see, student engagement and connectivity, elections, sustainability, the period project. These are just a few of the things, of the many things that undergraduate student government has really been at the forefront of. I have sat on this call tonight in awe and in a space where all of the hard work that you all are doing is so just incredibly critically important. I've been texting Megan throughout the meeting with just like all kinds of emojis and all kinds of love for every USG elected officer, director, senator, committee person. You all make me so proud. I'm proud of each of your accomplishments. I'm proud to say that I'm your vice president for student affairs. I'm proud that I get to work for this incredible student body. So I don't have any updates. I just want to simply say thank you. I want to thank you for the time that you invest. I want to thank you for the hard work and dedication that you demonstrate and show each and every day for the undergraduate student body at Kent State. And I want to thank you for the ways in which you show up for our campus community. My philosophy on students is that they need to push people like me to work harder. And that's exactly what you all do. And I love it each and every day. You know, I have my moments where I'm like, is this really, really worth, like, is it worth it? And then I come to this meeting and I hear just the passion and the zeal that you all have for the work and the things that you're doing and the ways that you're collaborating and the spaces that you're in. And it answers my question. Yes, it is absolutely worth it every single day. And so just thank you for being you. I always get sappy right around election time because that means we're, you know, bringing in a new crop of leaders, which is exactly what we want to do. But I get sad to see the leaders that we currently have go. I feel like I don't have enough time with them. So even the talk about introducing the election commission is like, oh no, that means people are like leaving soon. But you all have been incredible, and I'm excited about what's happening. I'm excited about what's on the horizon, and I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hilton. Those words really mean a lot, and I hope that everyone can take those words and use them to get through the rest of the semester, because I know like it's rough, like we're getting to that point where it's like almost there but not quite. But you know, even though we are establishing an election commission, like we're not done yet, and like our term isn't over until we pass that gavel. So I hope to see the same energy I see right now on the last day, you know, where we meet together. So yes, thank you for that, Dr. Hilton. But does anyone else have anything for the good of the order today?
I just have one more thing, Tiara, real quick. I want to give a shout out to Jariah as our director of programming. I know that he has to speak in like really vague terms about the programming that he's putting together. And you might all think like, what the heck is going on? Like, so I want to put that out there that he's doing some really good work, and, you know, he's been grinding for the past couple weeks, and there's only so much that he can say, but I know that you'll be pleasantly surprised with a lot of the things that he's got up his sleeve. So I just wanted to put that out there that I'm proud of him, and he can't speak for himself, so I'm gonna.
Oh, thank you, Megan. Yes, and definitely shout out to Director Watkins. I cannot wait to see like, you know, what you pull together. So I know we'll all be just as excited to see whenever you make that announcement. Does anyone else have anything for the good of the order before we move on? No? Okay, seeing none.
Tiara,
I can
add
yes,
something
Chief
real quick.
Wortman?
I just wanted to say, I know that you guys are getting really hyped up tonight. I just have to add on to that. Those of you who are returning members, we did have a bit of a rough year at times on our government. And I just know that this group has really surpassed any expectations that President Moore and myself had. And I would encourage you to just keep going. I know it can be overwhelming, and I know that this is probably one of the most overwhelming times of anyone's life thus far, despite the global pandemic and everything. But I want to encourage you to keep going, keep working on new projects. Sierra and myself are here if you have questions, but I am just really proud of all of you.
Yes, thank you, Chief Wortman. And like, I know you guys are probably annoyed with us by now, being like, you know, you need to do this, submit your reports and all that. But I just want you guys to know that like you are doing like light years better than I've seen in the past on these types of things. And like we're in a pandemic and we're dealing with all these things that like previous governments never had to deal with. And you guys are still like outperforming them by, in my opinion, by a lot. So like, you know, I know we're nagging, but you know, we just want you guys to be perfect. And I mean, we're pretty much there. So I don't know how else we can like make it much better, but yes, thank you, Chief Wortman, for those words. But does anyone else have anything for the good of the order? Okay, so seeing none, we can move on to announcements. And I don't think we have any because we kind of just already got a bunch of announcements. So I think we can move on to adjournment.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yep, do we have a second for that?
Second.
Okay, so if you like to adjourn, oh yeah, so the meeting will be adjourned at 6:31 p.m. Thank you guys for coming today. I look forward to seeing all the work you continue to do throughout the rest of the semester. So